I always believed my life was normal, maybe even perfect. Mom, I'm home, I called as I dropped my bag near the door. In the kitchen, my mother shouted back, her voice warm like always. I walked in and smiled. Something smells good. Your favorite, she said, placing a plate in front of me. Sit down. Where's Dad? I asked. Working late again, she replied without looking at me. I shrugged. He works too much. She laughed softly. He does it for you. I nodded, but something about that answer felt rehearsed. Later that evening, my phone buzzed. Yo, you alive? Ryan's voice came through. Barely, I said. Dinner coma. Come out tomorrow. Ethan's coming too. I smiled. Yeah, sure. Haven't seen him in a while. Good, Ryan said. You've been acting weird lately. Weird how? Quiet. Like you're thinking too much. I laughed it off. Maybe I am. Don't think too much, he said. Life's good, man. Yeah, I replied slowly. It is. But that night, something changed. I woke up to voices. At first, I thought I was dreaming. But then I heard my name. He's not ready, my mother said. He doesn't need to be ready, my father replied, his voice cold. We just need time. I sat up in bed, my heart starting to race. Lower your voice, she whispered. What if he hears? He won't, he said. He trusts us. I froze. He's starting to ask questions, my mother said. Then we control what he knows, my father snapped. It was a long silence. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. We've come too far to mess this up now. I leaned closer to my door, trying to hear more. What if he finds out? My mother asked. He won't, my father said firmly. And even if he does, it won't matter. I stepped back, my hands shaking. What does that mean? She asked. It means everything is already in motion. I couldn't breathe. I rushed back to my bed and lay down, pretending to be asleep. A few minutes later, I heard footsteps outside my door. They paused. I closed my eyes tighter. Then the footsteps moved away. The next morning fell off. Good morning, my mom said, smiling like nothing had happened. Morning, I replied carefully. My dad looked up from his coffee. Sleep well? Yeah, I said. You? Always, he replied. I studied his face. Calm. Normal. Like last night never happened. Everything okay? My mom asked. Yeah, I said quickly. Why wouldn't it be? She exchanged a glance with my dad. Just asking, she said. I forced a smile and grabbed my bag. I'm heading out. Don't be late, my dad said. I won't. As I stepped outside, I felt something I had never felt before. Doubt. At school, I found Ryan leaning against his locker. You look like trash, he said. Thanks, I replied. No, seriously. What happened? I hesitated. Nothing. Don't lie to me, he said. I know that face. I sighed. I heard my parents arguing last night. So, he said. Parents argue. It wasn't normal, I said. They were talking about me. Ryan frowned. What do you mean? I don't know, I admitted. It just felt wrong. You're overthinking, he said. You always do this. Maybe, I said, but I didn't believe it. Relax, he added. Your parents love you. I nodded slowly. Yeah, but that feeling didn't go away. That evening, I went home earlier than usual. The house was quiet. Mom, I called. No answer. Dad, nothing. I walked upstairs, my heart beating faster. I don't know why, but I felt pulled toward my dad's office. The door was slightly open. I pushed it gently. Everything looked normal. Desk, files, computer. But something caught my eye. A drawer was slightly open. I stepped closer. I shouldn't, I whispered to myself. But my hand moved anyway. I opened the drawer. Inside were several documents. I flipped through them quickly. Most of it looked like boring legal stuff. Then I saw my name. I froze. What is this? I muttered. I pulled the paper out. It looked official. My name was printed clearly at the top. Below it, a signature. I stared at it. That's not mine, I whispered. My hand started shaking. I read more. Terms. Transfers. Authority. I don't understand, I said under my breath. Then I heard the front door open. I panicked. I shoved the paper back and closed the drawer. Footsteps echoed through the house. Hello, my mom called. I'm upstairs, I shouted, trying to sound normal. Come down, she said. We need to talk. My heart skipped. About what? I asked. Just come down. I walked slowly, my mind racing. When I reached the living room, both of them were there, sitting, waiting. Sit, my dad said. I did. What's going on? I asked. My mom smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Nothing bad. Then why do I feel like it is? I said. My dad leaned forward. You've been acting strange. I could say the same about you. I replied. Silence. What do you mean? He asked. I heard you last night. I said. My mom stiffened. Heard what? My dad asked calmly. You were talking about me. I said. About something being in motion. They exchanged another look. You misunderstood, my mom said quickly. Did I? I asked. Yes, my dad said firmly. You're imagining things. I don't think I am, I said. He leaned back. Then prove it. I opened my mouth and stopped. I couldn't. See, he said. You're overthinking. I felt small. Maybe, I said quietly. Go to your room, my mom said softly. Get some rest. I nodded and stood up. As I walked away, I heard my dad whisper something. Keep an eye on him. That was it. That was the moment. The moment everything broke. I went to my room and closed the door. My hands were still shaking. That signature, I whispered. It wasn't mine. And for the first time in my life, I was afraid of my own parents. I couldn't ignore it anymore. Mom, Dad, we need to talk, I said one evening, my voice shaking slightly. About what, honey? Mom replied, brushing her hair back like everything was normal. About last night. What I overheard. Dad looked up from his book. Calm. Too calm. You must have misunderstood. I didn't, I said, my hands clenching. I heard you talking about me. About something in motion. I want the truth. Mom's eyes flicked to Dad, then back to me. I think you're imagining things, sweetheart. You've had a long day. I'm not imagining. I shouted. Tell me what's going on. Dad leaned back in his chair. Why do you think we would lie to you? I don't know. I muttered, my chest tightening. But it feels like everything is a lie. Mom's face softened. You're overreacting. I'm not. Ryan seen me acting weird. He noticed. You should talk to Ryan then, Dad said. Maybe he'll help you relax. I sighed, running my hands through my hair. I'll try. The next day, I called Ryan. Hey, can we talk? Sure, man, he said. What's up? I think my parents are hiding something. Last night, I overheard them. There was a pause. Oh, that's all you're going to say? I asked. I don't know, he said finally. I mean, I don't want to make things worse for you. Ryan, I need help, man. Please. I can't get involved, he said. I'm sorry. I just can't. I dropped the phone. My best friend, the guy I trusted like a brother, wasn't on my side. I felt completely alone. Then Sarah Whitmore appeared. Hey, she said quietly in the library corner. Mind if I sit? Sure, I said, surprised. Sarah? She was always there, always watching, never saying much. I know what you're looking for, she said, her voice soft. About your parents. I froze. What do you mean? I saw your father, she whispered. Several times. He was meeting with a lawyer. I overheard the words inheritance transfers. What? I asked, heart hammering. Are you serious? She nodded. I didn't know how to tell you before. I wasn't sure. I just saw him and the lawyer a lot. I ran my hands over my face. This connects everything. Everything? She asked, raising an eyebrow. They're not. They're planning something with me. Something big. My voice cracked. And I think I can't trust anyone. Not even Ryan? She asked gently. I shook my head. Even him. Sarah leaned forward. Listen, there's more. I did some digging. Not much, but enough. You weren't born to them. I blinked. What? You were adopted, she said softly. Not out of love. Your real parents, they died. Mysteriously. And they left behind something. A large estate. I staggered back. Estate. Yes. And your parents, they're waiting for you to turn 21. My hands trembled. So, all those years they were lying to me, just for money? I'm sorry, Sarah said. I didn't want to believe it either. But I saw it with my own eyes. Your father's meetings, the documents, it's all for the inheritance. I sat down, head in my hands. All my life, everything I thought was real gone. Don't blame yourself, she said. You didn't do anything wrong. I feel like I don't even exist, I muttered. Like I was just a plan. You exist, she said firmly. And now you know the truth. That gives you power. I looked at her. Power? How? You can fight back, she said. You can protect what's yours. You can make them regret this. I swallowed. I don't know if I can. Yes, you can, she insisted. You just need to start. I leaned back, thinking. Everything clicked in my mind. The argument, the tone, the secrecy. My parents weren't evil for no reason. They were calculating. They were waiting for me to reach 21 so they could take everything. And I'm supposed to just what? Let them? I asked, voice tight. All those years my life stolen? No, Sarah said firmly. You fight. You gather proof. You make sure they can't get away with it. I clench my fists. I can't believe this. All my memories. Mom, Dad, it was all fake. She nodded. I know it hurts. But now you know. That's the first step. I felt anger boiling inside me. I can't let them win. Not after this. They won't, she said. I'll help you. But you need to be smart, patient, and careful. I'm listening, I said, my mind racing. Tell me what to do. She gave me a small, encouraging smile. First, you observe. Find proof. Documents, emails, anything that shows their plan. And you keep it secret. I nodded slowly. And Ryan? He's on his own path, she said gently. Don't waste your energy on him. Focus on what matters. Your truth, your life. I exhaled slowly. The truth was brutal. I wasn't their son. I wasn't even a part of their love. I was a target, and the estate. I asked quietly. It's real, she said. They want it. You have the legal right. But if you don't act, they'll get it first. I stared at my hands. I felt small, fragile, but also awake. For the first time, I understood the stakes. They're waiting for me to turn 21, I whispered, so they could take everything. Yes, she said softly. But now, you know, and knowing that changes everything. I nodded slowly, swallowing the lump in my throat. Then I won't let them. You won't, she assured me. And just like that, a fire ignited inside me. A quiet, burning anger that whispered over and over. I won't be a pawn. I'll take back my life. I couldn't sit still. My hands were shaking as I grabbed the document from my desk. My parents had to hear this. They had to explain. Mom, Dad, I shouted as I stormed into the living room. I know everything. Mom's eyes widened. Dad looked tired, almost relieved. Everything, Dad asked calmly. Too calmly. Yes, I yelled. The meetings, the papers, the lies. Don't even try to deny it. Mom opened her mouth, then closed it. Dad leaned back in his chair. You were always going to find out. What do you mean? I demanded. You planned this? All these years. Dad's eyes were cold. You were an investment, nothing more. I froze. The words hit me harder than any punch ever could. What? I said it, he repeated calmly. Everything we did, everything we said, it was for a purpose. You were never ours by blood. I felt like the floor had dropped out from under me. I stumbled back, my knees weak. You're lying. No, he said. Go ahead. Ask your mother. Mom stayed silent, staring at the floor. She couldn't even meet my eyes. Is that true? I asked, voice trembling. All the love, all the care, fake? Mom shook her head slowly. I didn't want it to be like this. Didn't want it? I shouted. You raised me like I mattered. You called me your son. You lied to me every single day. I love you in my own way, she said softly. In your own way? I laughed bitterly. That's not love. Dad's hand rested on the table. I know you hate me now, and maybe you should, but this was never personal. It was business. Business? I repeated, feeling bile rise in my throat. You call raising a child business? Yes, he said. Everything has a purpose. You understand that now, don't you? I shook my head, my mind spinning. No, I don't. I never will. Mom whispered, I'm sorry. Sorry. I yelled. Do you know what you've done? Every memory I had gone. Every hug, every word fake. Dad leaned forward. Not fake. Functional. You served a purpose until the time came. Now you know, and you're free to act. Act, I asked, barely able to breathe. You think I'll forgive this? You think I'll stay? I didn't expect you to stay, Dad said. You were never ours to keep. I ran from the house before I could say more. My chest ached, my mind screamed, and my hands still shook. Every corner of the house felt tainted, every picture a lie. I didn't know where to go. I didn't care. I just ran. I ended up at Sarah's house that night. She opened the door before I could knock. You look terrible, she said softly. You don't understand, I said, my voice cracking. They're not my parents. Everything I knew, Everything I believed lies. I know, she said gently. I told you before. But now you see it with your own eyes. They called me an investment, I whispered. An investment, not a son, not a person they loved. Nothing. Sarah pulled me inside. Sit down, she said. Tell me everything. I slumped onto her couch, burying my face in my hands. I confronted them. I had proof. I wanted answers. And they just confirmed it. They don't care about me. Nothing I ever did mattered. They do care, in their own way, Sarah said. But it's twisted. They can't love you like a parent should. That doesn't mean you're worthless. I shook my head. Worthless? I feel empty, broken. Every memory, every birthday, every word they said a lie. I know, she said softly. It's not fair. None of it. But you survived. You're here. And you can choose what happens next. I laughed bitterly. Survived? I feel dead inside. How can I survive when the people I trusted most were the ones who hurt me the most? You survive because you have a choice, she said firmly. You can let this destroy you, or you can use it. Learn who you are without them. Take control of your life. I stared at her. Control? How? How do I even start after this? Step by step, she said. First breathe, then think, then plan. You don't have to do it all tonight. I feel like my whole life, was built on lies, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. How do I trust anything now? You start small, she said. Trust yourself first. Your instincts. Your decisions. Then, slowly you can rebuild. I looked down at my hands, trembling. I don't even know who I am anymore. You do, she said. You just haven't met that person yet. The person who isn't defined by them. The person who's free to choose, to fight, to survive. I swallowed hard, tears stinging my eyes. I thought parents were supposed to be my safe place. They were supposed to be, she said softly. But they failed. That doesn't mean you fail. You're not them. You're you. I took a shaky breath. I feel so lost. I know, she said. And that's okay. Feeling lost is part of finding yourself. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Everything I loved built on a lie. That's the worst part. Not the betrayal, but realizing it wasn't real. It's real now, Sarah said. You, your choices, your life. That's real. I nodded slowly, trying to let her words sink in. I don't know how to forgive them. Or, if I even want to. You don't have to forgive, she said. Not now. Not ever if you don't want to. What matters is that you protect yourself. I guess you're right, I said quietly. I have to think, plan, survive. Yes, she said, and I'll help you. You're not alone, even if it feels like it. I took a deep breath, finally letting some of the tension go. Thank you, I whispered. She smiled. Always. You'll get through this. I promise. I sat there for a long time, staring at the floor, trying to process everything. My parents were my parents. My life had been a lie, but I was still here, still breathing, still alive. And for the first time that night, I felt not completely powerless. I won't let them define me, I said quietly to myself. I'll find who I am, and I'll survive. Sarah nodded beside me. That's the spirit. I didn't smile. I couldn't. Not yet. But the fire inside me was lit. And it wouldn't go out. I thought I had reached the bottom. I thought nothing could hurt more than finding out I wasn't their son. I was wrong. I was sitting at Sarah's kitchen table when my phone buzzed. It was an email from the law firm my dad had been using. Open it, Sarah said softly. I clicked it. My stomach sank. They were trying to declare me mentally unstable. A formal, legal petition. If they succeeded, they could gain full control of everything in my name before I turned 21. I can't believe this, I muttered, my hands trembling. You can't, Sarah asked. Were you refused to? I don't know, I said. I feel trapped. They're trying to steal my life before I even get a chance to live it. You have a choice, she said firmly. You can fight, or you can let them win. I ran my hands through my hair. I don't even know where to start. Start with the truth, she said. Gather proof. Documents, emails, anything that shows their plan. And you keep it hidden. That's how we start. I nodded slowly, but then my phone buzzed again. This time it was Ryan. Hey, he said when I answered. Can we talk? About what? I asked, my voice sharp. You need to hear this, he said. I should have told you sooner. I stared at the phone. Go on. They've been paying me, he said finally, to watch you. Keep track of your movements. I felt like the room tilted. You knew. I didn't want to, man, he said. But the money, I didn't know how to say no. I trusted you. I shouted. You were supposed to be my brother, my friend, and you were working for them. I said, I'm sorry, he yelled back. I didn't know how to stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I laughed bitterly. They were planning to declare me insane, Ryan. And you knew. I didn't know everything, he insisted. I swear. I shook my head, my chest tightening. It doesn't matter. You were part of it. You helped them. You betrayed me too. I didn't want to, he shouted again. Don't. I yelled, cutting him off. I don't want to hear excuses. I trusted you. That's gone now. There was silence on the line. Then he whispered, I'm sorry. I hung up. My hands were shaking, my stomach in knots. Even Ryan, even he had turned against me. I felt completely alone. Sarah reached over, placing her hand on mine. You're not alone, she said softly. You have me, and we'll figure this out. I looked at her, tears welling. I can't believe everyone I trusted, everyone is gone. They're not gone, she said firmly. They're just on the wrong side. I took a shaky breath. I don't know if I can do this. I don't even know where to start. Then start here, she said, pointing at her laptop. We begin by gathering everything. Every meeting, every email, every legal document. We build a case, and we prepare to fight back. I nodded slowly, my anger simmering. Fight back. Yes, she said. They think they can control you, declare you insane, take your inheritance, but they're wrong. You're smarter than they think. They've had years to plan this, I said, my voice low. Years to prepare. And now I have to stop them. You're not stopping them alone, she reminded me. I'm here, and we'll be careful. Step by step. I ran my hands over my face. I feel like a cornered animal. Good, she said with a small smile. Let that fear turn into focus. Let that anger turn into clarity. You're not running anymore. I looked at her. Not running. No, she said. They think you'll hide. They think you'll be afraid. They're wrong. You're going to fight. And if they want war, you'll give it to them. My heart raced. For the first time in hours, I felt something besides fear. Fire. Purpose. Where do we start? I asked. Information, she said. We gather proof first. Everything that can show their plan, their intentions. Then we expose it. Public, legal, however we have to. And Ryan? I asked bitterly. Forget Ryan for now, she said. He's on his own path. Focus on what matters. You, them, and your life. I swallowed hard. It's going to be hard. They've got money, power, everything. Then we use their strength against them, she said. You have the law. You have truth. You have evidence. And you have willpower. That counts for more than they think. I nodded slowly. You really think we can do this? Yes, she said firmly. I wouldn't be here if I didn't. I clenched my fists. I can't let them win. Not after everything. You won't, she said softly. You're stronger than you realize. I took a deep breath, letting the anger settle into focus. Okay, then we start tomorrow. We gather evidence, and we plan every step. They think they can destroy me. They're wrong. They're very wrong, Sarah agreed. I stood up, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. If they want war, they'll get it. Sarah smiled, and we'll make sure they regret it. I felt my resolve harden. For the first time, I wasn't afraid. For the first time, I felt alive. Then it settled. I said quietly, we fight back. We take control. We survive. Yes, she said, step by step. We win this. I sat back down, staring at my hands. The fear that had paralyzed me was gone, replaced by clarity, anger, determination. They'll see, I whispered to myself. They'll see that I'm not the victim they thought I was. I'm the storm they never prepared for. Sarah placed her hand on mine again. And I'll be here. Every step. I nodded slowly. Then let's begin. No running. No fear. Just fight. She smiled softly. Fight. And in that moment, I realized I would never be broken again. Not by them. Not by anyone. If they wanted war, I would give it to them. I stared at the stack of papers on the table. Every email, every contract, every hidden memo, it all screamed one thing. My parents weren't just liars, they were criminals. Where do we start? I asked Sarah, my voice tight with determination. Daniel Whitmore, her older brother, leaned over the papers. We start with proof. Documented evidence. Anything that shows their plan, their intent, and their attempts to control you illegally. I nodded. I have everything I could find at home. Hidden files, old emails, their schedules. It's all here. Good, Daniel said. Then we build a timeline. Step by step. Everything will point to a pattern. Sarah looked at me with that quiet, unwavering gaze she always had. You're doing the right thing. This is about more than money now. It's about you taking back control. I clenched my fists. Control, that's exactly what I want. Over the next few days, I became obsessed. I interviewed neighbors, checked financial records, traced meetings. Every day, I collected more evidence. Look at this, I said one evening, pointing at a spreadsheet. They transferred funds to Shell accounts right before my birthday. And the emails, they're clear. They call me the asset. Daniel adjusted his glasses. Perfect. That's exactly what we need. Fraud, manipulation, attempted exploitation, it's all here. And it's documented. Sarah smiled faintly. For the first time, I see you smiling, even a little. I'm not smiling, I said, though my heart felt lighter. I'm focused. I'm not letting them win. Then came the first crack in their plan. I was at home, waiting to confront them, when Dad stormed into the study. Where are the files? Did you take the files? I don't know what you're talking about, I said, keeping my voice calm. Don't lie to me, he shouted. I know you're plotting something. Mom peeked in from the hallway. Michael, please calm down. I shook my head. No, I've had enough of calm. I'm tired of your lies. Dad's face twisted with frustration. You have no idea what you're doing. I have everything, I said firmly. Emails, documents, bank records, everything. And now it's too late for you to cover it up. Mom's eyes widened. She opened her mouth, then closed it. I didn't want this to happen. Didn't want it to happen. I repeated. You mean you didn't want me to know? Or you didn't want me caught? I'm sorry, she whispered. I laughed bitterly. Sorry? That word doesn't fix years of lies. Then Ryan called. Hey, can we talk? He asked hesitantly. I don't want to talk, I said, my voice cold. Not now. Not ever. You were part of this. You knew what they were doing. I'm sorry, he said quickly. I didn't know it would go this far. Didn't know? I asked, incredulous. Ryan, they were planning to declare me insane. You knew. And you stayed silent. Stop, I shouted. I don't want your excuses. You betrayed me. That's enough. There was silence. I understand, he said quietly. I wanted you to know I regret it. Too late, I said, hanging up. I turned to Sarah and Daniel. I can't forgive him. I don't even want to try. This isn't about friendship anymore. No, Daniel agreed. This is about protecting yourself and taking back your life. I nodded. Exactly. This isn't just about money now. This is about me. About taking back what's mine, what was stolen from me since the day I was brought into that house. Sarah's hand found mine, and we'll make sure you get it. Step by step, evidence by evidence. They won't see it coming. I looked at her, determination burning in my chest. I've spent too long feeling powerless. Too long letting them control me. Not anymore. Daniel flipped through a file. They've been sloppy. Your father's desperation is making him careless. And your mother, she's showing guilt. Both are weaknesses we can use. I smirked faintly. Good. Let them show their cracks. I'll exploit them. Legally, cleanly, and ruthlessly. Exactly, Daniel said. We're going to turn their plan against them. Every mistake they've made, every lie, every betrayal, it will all come out. Sarah nodded. They thought they were in control. Now we are. I leaned back in my chair, feeling a strange mix of relief and excitement. For the first time, I wasn't the victim. I wasn't the pawn. They'll regret underestimating me, I said quietly. They already are, Sarah said with a small smile. Days passed. I collected more documents, recordings, everything that proved their intent. I watched my parents grow paranoid. Dad started making mistakes in emails, leaving traces he didn't mean to. Mom tried to approach me several times. Can we talk? She asked softly one evening. I don't want to talk, I said firmly. Not until you've paid for what you did. Her face fell. She looked away, shame written all over her. I didn't feel sorry. I didn't feel relief. I just felt power. Even Ryan sent messages. Please, I want to make amends. I ignored them all. My focus was clear. Nothing could distract me. This isn't just about money anymore, I said to Sarah and Daniel one night. This is about taking back my life. Everything they try to take from me, I'll have it back. And they won't even see it coming. Sarah squeezed my hand. Step by step. Patience. Strategy. We have this. I nodded. I've waited too long. I've let them control me for years. Not anymore. Now, I'm in control. And they'll pay for underestimating me. Daniel leaned back, confident. With the evidence we have, their own mistakes and your determination, they don't stand a chance. I felt a surge of satisfaction. Good. I like the sound of that. Sarah smiled faintly. This is your moment. Take it. I exhaled slowly, feeling the weight lift from my shoulders. For the first time, I wasn't running. I wasn't afraid. I was planning, preparing, and ready to reclaim everything. They thought they could destroy me, I said quietly. They were wrong. Very wrong. And for the first time in months, I felt truly alive. The courtroom smelled like polished wood and tension. I sat there, hands clenched, staring at the people I had trusted my entire life. My parents. My own parents. Daniel whispered to me, stay calm. Let's do this step by step. I nodded, though my stomach twisted. Calm? How could I stay calm when the people who raised me, the people I called family, had spent years plotting against me? The judge called the court to order. We will begin with the presentation of evidence. Daniel stood, holding a thick folder. Your Honor, this case concerns the exploitation of my client, Jason Carter, by his adoptive parents. I will show the court clear evidence of fraud, manipulation, and attempts to illegally declare my client mentally unstable in order to gain control of his inheritance. I watched my father shift in his seat, the first cracks showing in his perfect mask. This document, Daniel continued, shows direct communication with a law firm discussing mental instability declarations. Emails, schedules, and financial transactions prove intent to exploit. My mother's face paled. She whispered something under her breath. What's that? I asked quietly, leaning toward her. It's nothing, she said quickly, averting her eyes. But I knew better. Daniel placed another file on the stand. Here we have records of financial transfers to shell accounts designed to secure the inheritance before Jason turned 21. My father's hands tightened on the bench. This is circumstantial, he barked. Circumstantial, Daniel asked calmly. Your own emails called Jason the asset. You discussed profit, inheritance, and control repeatedly. Circumstantial, the courtroom murmured. I felt a sickening mix of anger and pain. Dad's face turned red. You're lying. I'm not lying, Daniel said firmly. These are the facts. And my client's adoptive parents had every intention of seizing control illegally. Mom's shoulders slumped. Tears rolled down her face. She whispered something to herself. I leaned forward. Mom, say it. Just say it. She shook her head, trembling. Yes, it's true. I knew. I didn't stop it. I felt my chest tighten. Watching her cry, hearing her admit it wasn't satisfaction. It was pain. Deep, raw pain. How could you? I whispered. How could you do this to me? I thought it was right. I thought I was helping, she stammered. Helping? I laughed bitterly. You stole my life. You made me believe in lies my entire life. Daniel stood, presenting more documents. Your Honor, we also have records proving coordination with Ryan Cole to monitor my client's activities, further solidifying intent to manipulate and control. Ryan sat silently in the back, head bowed. No excuses, no words. Just shame. The judge adjusted his glasses. Do the defendants have anything to say? Dad stood, voice shaking. Jason, I never meant. Never meant. I snapped. You never meant to love me. Never meant to protect me. Never meant to be my parents. That's what you mean. Mom sobbed openly. I'm sorry. I thought it was for the best. For the best. I yelled. For the best. You call stealing my life, planning my downfall for the best. Daniel leaned closer. Your Honor, the evidence is overwhelming. My client's adoptive parents exploited him for financial gain, attempted to manipulate his mental stability legally, and acted with deliberate intent to control his inheritance. The judge nodded. I've reviewed all submitted evidence, and it is clear that the defendants acted in bad faith. Jason Carter's claims are justified. I swallowed hard. My chest felt tight. I wanted to scream, cry, and maybe punch a wall all at once. Therefore, the judge continued, the court rules in favor of Jason Carter. All attempts to declare him mentally unstable are dismissed, and his inheritance remains fully protected. A silence fell over the courtroom. Then Dad's face twisted in disbelief. He sat down heavily. Mom's shoulders shook with sobs. She looked at me, eyes full of regret. Jason, I'm so sorry. I stared at her. It's too late, I said quietly. The words hurt more than I expected. Too late for apologies. Too late for forgiveness. Too late to undo the years of lies. Daniel clapped me lightly on the shoulder. It's done, Jason. You're free from their control. Legally, completely. I exhaled slowly. Freedom felt bitter. Victory felt hollow. As court officers escorted my parents out, Mom glanced back at me. Her eyes pleaded, begged for something I didn't have to give. I didn't look at her. I didn't respond. My heart felt heavy but steady. Justice had been served, but love, trust, family, those are gone. Sarah squeezed my hand. You're okay. You did it. I nodded, though my throat burned. I did it, but it doesn't feel like victory. You have your life back, she said softly, and no one can take that from you now. I looked at the empty benches where Dad had sat. My mind replayed every lie, every smile, every I love you that had been fake. They weren't strangers, I whispered. They were the people I call Mom and Dad. But they're gone now, Daniel said firmly, and you can build your own life, your own family, your own future. I swallowed hard. I guess. I can. But it hurts. More than I thought it would. Sarah nodded. Pain is part of healing. But you're strong enough to get through it. I glanced at the door where my parents had disappeared. I won't ever forget what they did. But I'll live my life on my terms now. Nothing stolen, nothing hidden. Daniel smiled faintly. And you've done it legally, cleanly, without stooping to their level. That's power, Jason. That's real strength. I felt the weight in my chest slowly ease. Justice had been served. The law had recognized my truth. The lies had been exposed. But watching them fall, hearing their confessions, wasn't satisfaction. It was pain. I had lost my parents, but gained clarity. I looked at Sarah. Let's go. I need to breathe, to think, to figure out what's next. She nodded. Whatever you need. I'll be with you. I exhaled, stepping out into the sunlight. The world felt sharp, real, and mine. The pain lingered, but so did a new sense of control, of freedom. I whispered to myself, justice is served, but the heart doesn't heal so easily. And for the first time in years, I felt like I could survive. Truly survive. The apartment smelled of fresh paint and new beginnings. I stood in the empty living room, staring at the bare walls. This is different, I muttered, half to myself, half to Sarah. It's yours now, she said softly, setting down a box. You can make it whatever you want. I laughed bitterly. Funny, I thought winning would fix me. I thought justice would make me feel whole again. It doesn't. Sarah frowned, sitting on the floor and tapping her fingers on the wood. It's okay to feel empty. You went through hell, Jason. You lost your family, your home, your trust. Healing takes time. I know, I said, kicking a box lightly. But it feels wrong. I'm free, but I don't feel free. I'm safe, but I don't feel safe. She sighed. Freedom isn't about feeling safe immediately. It's about finally being able to choose for yourself. I sank onto the couch. Choose for myself, yeah. But what do I choose? Where do I even start? Sarah smiled faintly. Step 1, live. Step 2, trust again, slowly. Step 3, rebuild. Rebuild, I repeated, closing my eyes. Everything I knew, everything I loved gone, and now I'm supposed to rebuild. Yes, she said firmly. Not from what was stolen from you, but from the truth. From who you really are. I opened my eyes. Who am I, Sarah? After everything, I don't even know anymore. You're Jason Carter, she said quietly. You're strong, smart, resilient. You survived betrayal, lies, and loss. You survived when most people would have given up. That's who you are. I let out a long breath. It's strange losing my parents. Ryan, even that house. I thought I'd be devastated, but I feel empty, numb. Emptiness is the first step to healing, she said. You can't rebuild until you've cleared out the wreckage inside. I nodded slowly. I guess that makes sense, but I don't want to be alone in this. You won't be, she said, moving closer. I'll be here, every step. For the first time in weeks, I smiled faintly. Thanks, Sarah. I don't know what I'd do without you. You be fine, she said, but I prefer to watch you prove it while I'm around. I chuckled lightly, the sound foreign in my own ears. It felt good, a reminder that life wasn't all pain. The next morning, I unpacked more boxes. Each item I placed, each picture I hung, was a small act of reclaiming my life. Look at this, I said, holding up a framed photo of Sarah and me from school. Funny, I never noticed how happy we looked back then. You look scared, she teased, taking it from me. But there's hope in your eyes. That's all that matters now. I laughed, a real laugh this time. Hope. Yeah, I can use some of that. Weeks passed. I found a job I actually liked, started meeting new people, and slowly, the emptiness began to fade. I didn't feel whole yet, but I felt moving forward. One evening, I received a message from Ryan. Jason, can we talk? I stared at the screen. My finger hovered over the keyboard. Ryan, I typed finally. We have nothing to talk about. Goodbye. I didn't wait for a reply. I deleted his message. Gone. Like he had never mattered. Sarah noticed. You're stronger than you think, she said, her hand brushing mine. You don't need him, and you don't need them. You have your life. I nodded. It's weird letting go of people I cared about. But it feels right. My parents' names never came up again. When I thought of them, it was like a shadow passing over my mind, painful but fading. You're really moving on, Sarah said one evening, sitting beside me on the balcony. The city lights flickered below. I can see it in your eyes. Yeah, I said quietly. I think I am. I'm not broken anymore. Not the way they wanted me to be. I lost everything, but somehow I found myself. She smiled softly. And that's all that matters. You're free, Jason. You've taken back your life, piece by piece. I never thought it would feel like this, I admitted. Winning justice, it's not the same as healing. Healing is harder, but I'm starting to get it now. You're doing it right, she said. One day at a time, one step at a time. I looked out at the city lights again. I guess family isn't about blood or titles. It's about trust, and I've finally learned that. Sarah squeezed my hand. Exactly. And trust, once earned, lasts longer than any lie your parents try to feed you. I laughed lightly. I never thought I'd feel this calm again. But I do. It's peaceful in a strange way. Peace is a start, she said. Next is joy, and I think we can find that too. I nodded. Yeah, joy. I think I can believe in that now. Months passed. Life slowly settled into a rhythm. I had new friends, a routine, and a place that felt like home. I kept busy, but I never forgot what I went through. It shaped me, hardened me, made me stronger. One night, I looked at Sarah sitting beside me and said, you know, I feel like I finally understand something. Life isn't about what you lose. It's about what you do after. She smiled warmly. And you've done more than survive. You've rebuilt. I nodded. Yeah, rebuilt. Not from what they took, but from what I've found. Myself. I leaned back, letting the cool breeze brush over my face. The city hummed around me, alive and bright. For the first time, I wasn't looking over my shoulder. I wasn't afraid. I lost everything, I whispered to the night. And somehow, I found me. Sarah reached over, intertwining our fingers. And I'll be here every step. You're not alone anymore. I smiled, a real, genuine smile. I know, and that makes all the difference. The past was behind me. The pain was still there, a quiet reminder, but it no longer controlled me. I had survived betrayal, lies, and heartbreak. I had faced my parents, faced Ryan, faced the emptiness inside. And I had come out stronger, wiser, and whole in a way I had never been before. Here's to the future, I said quietly. To trust, to life, and to finding myself. Sarah smiled. To you, Jason. To you. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight lift from my chest. The ruins of my past were behind me. The road ahead was mine to walk. And for the first time in years, I felt ready to live.